we are going to use half-angle identities to solve the following problems. So in the first one, we have an angle that's in the second quadrant, and cosine of x equals -3/5. So we know that cosine is negative in the second quadrant. We want to find a sine of the half angle of x. Now, what we want to do is, if you look up above, we want to figure out which formula we need to use. We want to find sine of the half angle. So it's this first formula. We only have one choice, although we need to determine whether it's going to be the positive or the negative root. So the second quadrant is between 90 degrees and 180. Okay, so for our half angle, we need to see what result we get if we divide everything by 2, because half angle means that we just take half of that angle. 45 x over 2 less than 90. So when we take the half angle, we actually end up in the first quadrant. So therefore, in the first quadrant, sine is positive. So we're going to pick that root but make it a positive root. Okay, also, so let's just write down what we have. So sine of x over 2 equals the positive root of 1 minus cosine of x over 2. So I just took the formula from above and just wrote it down. Now the problem tells us what cosine of x is equal to. So all we have to do is plug it into our little equation here. So let's do that. So I'm going to have square root of 1 minus, I have -3/5 over 2. And everything is under the root. Okay, so I'm just going to simplify this expression now. So I can write this, I can put the 1/2 in front of it rather than dividing by 2. I'm going to just rewrite it as 1 plus 3/5 because we have minus negative. So let's simplify this. The square root of 1/2, and in the square root, 1 is the same as 5/5 plus 3/5. So we have 8/5. Now, you can reduce some stuff in the fraction already. So we can reduce these two. This will become 4 on top, and we have 1 right there. So therefore, this is the square root of 4/5. And if we apply the root to the top, we get 2. On the bottom, we get square root of 5. We want to rationalize this, so we're going to get 2 square root of 5/5. So in this next part, we're in the second quadrant still. This time they give us sine of x equals 5/13. Now we have, we want to find cosine of the half angle. So the formula, if you look above, our formula is right there for cosine of theta over 2. But inside the square root, we need a cosine. So since we have sine, we need to do our little triangle so we can figure out what is cosine equal to. So if this is our angle, sine is opposite over adjacent. So this is 5. Opposite over hypotenuse. So we have, this is 13. So again, if you recall what this is, just label it as 12. If you don't remember a 5, 12, 13 triangle, just use the Pythagorean theorem to get the third side. So now I can figure out what the cosine is. So cosine of x is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now we are in the second quadrant, so cosine is going to be negative. So don't forget to do that. Okay, so let's write down what the half angle is equal to. So cosine of x over 2 equals, now if you look at the table above, we're using this formula. Now, again, we're in the second quadrant. The same thing applies as what we already did here. You know, we are ending up, the half angle is in the first quadrant because we divide everything by 2. So therefore, again, we're using the positive root. So let's write this down. So square root of 1 plus cosine of x over 2. So I just used that equation from the above. Okay, so I just plug in what I know. So square root of 1 plus, now my cosine of x is negative 12 over 13, and the whole thing is over 2. Okay, so I just want to simplify this. I'm going to put the over 2 again on the side as 1/2. 1 minus 12 over 13. So let's change this to 1/2. So we have 12 over 13 over 13 minus 12 over 13. So as we simplify this, we get square root of 1/2 times 1 over 13. When we multiply that together, we get square root of 1 over 26. So again, we can change this to 1 over square root of 26. And then when we rationalize it, we just get square root of 26 over 26. Okay, the last problem I'm going to do is with tangent, because I want to show you all three of the half angle formulas. So they give us cosine again. Now for tangent, we're going to need both sine and cosine. So I'm going to do my triangle real quick. Now we have cosine equals 4 over 5. Remember, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. So I know this is going to end up being a 3, 4, 5. So if this is my angle right here, adjacent for hypotenuse 5, so this side is going to be 3. So I know that sine of theta equals 3/5. Now they've told me that we want to find the positive tangent. So as with the other ones, the choices are plus or minus, but we are going to just worry about the positive. So we have 3/5. Now for tangent, we have 3 choices. Whenever we can avoid it, we just don't use the square roots. Now sometimes we don't have a choice, but here we do. We can pick any of the 3. So I'm going to just pick the last one. You can pick the second one and you should get the same results, but I'm going to pick the last formula. So tangent of the half angle of theta equals 1 minus cosine theta over sine theta. So I have 1 minus 4 over 5 over 3/5. So just simplify the fraction. The 1 turns into 5 over 5, so I get 1/5 on top and 3/5 on the bottom. I inverse multiply. So my final answer is going to be 1/3.